Good days, everyone. Welcome back to UMTMOOC Ornamental Fish Culture. In this topic, we are going to talk about the breeding of ornamental fish. This video, we will introduce you the information about sexual differences, the breeding tank setup, and the breeding technique of few common aquarium fish. But of course, you must have your own mature fish to be ready. In this video also, we are going to discuss the fishes from the group of Liew, egg scatterer, egg depositor, bubble net builder. Liew. What is Liew fish? Liew is the fish that deliver a live baby, which the mating process occurred where the male fish channel the sperm into the female body by using their gonadopodium to fertilize egg inside the female body, and the embryo develop and matured inside the female body, which is born as an advanced juvenile stage. The example of the popular Liew ornamental fish are guppy, molly, platy, and swordtail. To differentiate the male and female of the Liew fish is very simple, where the male fish have the extended reproductive organ known as gonadopodium that located behind the pelvic fins, which female does not have the gonadopodium. This figure indicates the female ready to deliver the newborn, with the silvery black color appear at the posterior abdomen of the female. And another figure here indicates the female in the process of delivery. The breeding tank setup for the Liew is very simple. You just have to introduce the spawning pair into the spawning cage with a sexual ratio of 3 female and 2 males. At the same time, provide the aquatic plant in the spawning tank as a rearing substrate for the newborn baby. Another group is the egg scatterer. What is egg scatterer? Egg scatterer is the fish that can spawn either as a pair or a group where the egg will be distributed or released randomly for fertilizations, and some may eating their own eggs during the spawning. The common member of the egg scatterer are first goldfish, buff, tetra, rasbora, and many other small schooling fish. For example, the goldfish. Matured goldfish appear to have the nuptial at the pectoral fin and the operculum, which is not found in the female. Spawning tank setup for the goldfish can be very simple. You just need to choose the matured pair and introduce into the spawning tank. In the spawning tank, provide the aquatic plant or the artificial soap substrate for egg attachment. After their spawning, remove the broodstock and let the eggs to hatch. Goldfish usually spawn at the early morning, approximately from 4 p.m. to 8 a.m. During the spawning time, the male fish will swim actively following behind the female. For other schooling fish such as tigerbarb, tetra, rasbora, and many others, the female usually have the largest body size and less colorful, while the male fish usually have the small body size but very colorful and attractive. For example, the tigerbarb. The female fish, they have the largest body size, but they don't have the red color on the lip or the dorsal fin. While for the male fish, they are much more smaller in body size, but they have the red color on the lip and dorsal fin. Another example for the schooling fish is the zebrafish. Similarly, The female are largest in body size, high body depth, and round abdomen. But the male fish generally have the smallest in size. Their spawning tank setup could be very simple. You just need to prepare a spawning cage or the spawning net to separate the eggs from the broodstock. This is to avoid the egg being eaten by the parent fish. After prepare the spawning cage, introduce the matured fish into the spawning tank at the ratio 1:1, male and female. After spawning, remove the broodstock. Let the egg hatch within 1 to 2 days. This depends on the water temperature. The next example group is the egg depositor. What is the egg depositor? Egg depositor is the fish that spawn as the pair with parental care behavior that require privacy and also spawning structure. These fish will arrange their own eggs on a chosen substrate and guiding their own eggs until hatch or become the early juvenile stage. The common group of egg depositor are freshwater angelfish, discus, and some of the cichlid member. The example of freshwater angelfish. Their sexual differences can be sometimes difficult. However, there are characters that can be identified, such as the head bump. The male fish have the thicker head bump than the female. But body size, the male fish have the largest body size than the female. However, the spawning tank setup and pairing can be easier, where you need to keep at least 4 individuals in a culture tank and let them choose their own pair. Once they choose their own pair, they will chasing other members away from their territory. From that point, you can remove this pair and introduce them into the spawning tank. In the spawning tank, you need to provide them with a gentle aerations with a spawning structure that provide the angle about 40 to 45 degrees. This pair will release their own egg on the spawning structure and they will pair for their own life. Then you don't have to choose the other pair, the other member.
This is the egg of the angel. It deposits on this plastic sheet, and normally the best angle for them to deposit about 65 to 75 degrees. So they will spawn more. From this egg, you can see the male or the female is very good. Both the male or female are very good. Why we say it's good? Firstly, the eggs are laid very systematically in line. Of course, there are some places there's overlapping, whereby the female is not so good, but consider in general it's very good. And also, the male is also very good for this case because all the eggs are well fertilized. You know? Even the overlap eggs were fertilized also. And sometimes you also can tell from the eggs, the size of the eggs are very even. No? So it means this female is good. Only thing, this spawn is not so big. This is about 800-900. It can be in one spawn as many as 1,500. Average, it should be about 1,200 eggs per spawn. For this age of the angel, it should be 1,200. This is a bit small. So this was late this morning.
For bubble net builder, this is a very unique fish that construct bubble as their spawning ground to incubate their own eggs and larvae. The example is the Gourami and Beta species are the both popular bubble net builder species in the ornamental fish market. In this video, we will only talk about the Gourami. There are few popular Gourami variety available in the market, which is blue Gourami, yellow, pearl, moonlight, and also the dwarf Gourami. For sexual identification, it's the same for all the variety. For male fish, they are more colorful with the long dorsal and also the anal fin, while for the female, they are less color with the rounded abdomens and also the dorsal and anal fin. For spawning tank setup, you just have to introduce the male fish into the spawning tank and let the male fish to construct the bubble nets. At the same time, prepare the spawning cage. After the male fish constructing the bubble, introduce the female into the spawning cage for introductions to let them communicate with each other. Once the male fish have come closer to the female without showing any aggressiveness behavior, then you can release the female for mating. Mating and the spawning process will take part within a few days if you've chosen the right partner. After spawning, remove the female and let the male fish to take care of their eggs until hatch, because the male fish will attack the female after spawning. As a remark, understand the basic fish biology and the breeding technique. You can be one of the ornamental fish breeder. Think of what your fish need for living. They will spawn in captive if they are happy with their living environment that you provided. Thank you for your watching, and we hope you learned something from this video.